listeners of Royal FM, thanks for joining me, FRINUE CRISPIN, for today's program that is Family Health. I'm happy to be with you this afternoon. Trust me, it's going to be sweet, it's going to be soft, it's going to be beautiful. We are going to discuss health on this program. On today's edition, dear listeners, we are going to talk about the dangers of purchasing or buying roadside drugs. It is very common in our society. So, dear listeners, do you buy roadside drugs, that is medicine, as we say in the quarters, medicine? Do you go out to buy medicine for your children, for yourself on the road? And why not in the pharmacy? Why not in the hospital? Please, we are going to be waiting for your reaction in this program. Meanwhile, a health expert is going to be giving us a whole lot of explanation on that. It is also important to mention that this afternoon we have a technical team assisting us. Of course, we have Salomon Isana, who is our sound engineer, so he's going to be providing us with all the beautiful music you're going to be listening in this program. And also for our Facebook page and our YouTube channel, we have Jean-Marie Otu. He's responsible for that, for the beautiful images you're going to be getting on our Facebook page and on our YouTube channel. Jean-Marie Otu is there for that. And also for coordination for this to go on well, we have Jean Patient Tala. And for general supervision, general supervision is Reverend Pastor Bisa Emmanuel Noel. And I told you already, I am FRINUE CRISPIN. I'm going to be with you from now to 1:30 p.m. this afternoon. And trust me, family health is always there to entertain you, educate you about some specific health condition, not only specific but several health issues. So each day we choose a specific topic to discuss on, and today you have our topic. But as tradition demands, on the Royal FM airwaves, we'll have a beautiful gospel music to thank God for giving us life, to thank God for the afternoon, to thank God for everything. We are going to follow that beautiful gospel music. We'll be right back to unfold our package, and trust me, it's going to be amazing this afternoon.
Lion of Judah, my trust is in you. Ancient of days, my trust is in you. I am that I am, God. My trust is in you. Leader of the valley, my trust
Royal FM.
Royal FM.
Le meilleur de la radio. Le meilleur de la radio. Le meilleur de la radio.
Thank you, Salomon Isana. My trust is in you. That's a beautiful gospel music to praise God and always remind Him that we always trust in Him. We always believe in Him. Dear listeners, if you're just joining us, you're on to Family Health, your favorite health program, aired only on Royal FM 88.4, live on our Facebook page and also on our YouTube channel. And it is time for me to remind all the mutualists, of course, the mutual assistance and solidarity is always and will be there like forever. So it is time for me to remind all mutualists ready or willing to get enrolled for MASO Act 4 that the exercise is already being carried out in all Renapro Finance SA agency. So if you're still to register for MASO Act 4, please do well to go to any Renapro Finance SA agency and get yourself enrolled, because it is possible, it is already available. So you go there from Monday to Saturday, that is Saturday up to midday. You go there, you will get yourself enrolled and get all the formalities. Also, I would like to mention that here at the Radio House, we do the enrollment too. If you wish to get yourself registered, you can come to the Radio House that is located opposite CAMAIR-CO in the central town, just next to the entrance of the Fundi Market, and it is on the second floor of the building named Immeuble Binam. You can get here and you will get all the details you need to know about the MASO. And also, we would like to remind winners of MASO Act 3 that they can go to the different Renapro Finance SA agency in order to check the list of winners, so that they will know exactly, to see exactly their name and know when they will start benefiting from the gift or the prizes they won during the Act 3 raffle draw ceremony. So winners, please, we are urging you to get to the different Renapro Finance SA and check the list already available. So if you have not checked yours, please go there, because the lists are already there. If you know you're a winner, please go there and check. If you did not even hear your name, please just go and check. Who knows, maybe your name was mentioned but you were not around and you will see your name there. So please go there and check that. And we get back into our program, which is Family Health. If you're just joining us, this is Family Health. Let me remind you again, and I'd also like to tell you that our lines are open this afternoon in case you have any contributions to make, because we are talking about the dangers of buying roadside drugs. So I ask you, dear listeners, my beautiful listeners, I know you're following me this afternoon, so I ask you, why do you buy roadside drugs? Why do you prefer to go and buy your medications at the roadside instead of going to the hospitals or maybe going to a pharmacy? Why do you prefer that? And do you know that there are dangers associated to that? There are several dangers, and you can call us to tell us, give us your opinion. And also you can call us on this line 671-157321. Let me take it all over again, 671-157321, or the next number 658089125, and the last one is 620-377481. So dear beautiful listeners, I'm waiting for you this afternoon for your reactions to be pouring in, giving us your reasons why you prefer, or the reasons why you think people prefer to go buy roadside drugs instead of going to pharmacies or maybe going to the hospital. And of course, this afternoon we caught up with Dr. Tata Peter. It's a medical doctor, a sociologist. He has a lot of caps. So we caught up with him to tell us a little bit about the dangers of buying roadside drugs. And equally, he spoke about some of the reasons why people prefer to buy roadside drugs. So we begin with the dangers. It is important that you know the dangers associated to you buying roadside drugs. We are going to have one of his excerpts which we recorded earlier on this afternoon. Let's have Dr. Tata Peter tell us about the dangers of purchasing roadside drugs, that is the population. Let's listen to him on this excerpt.
The dangers of buying roadside drugs are numerous, and the first danger actually is linked to what we may term storage hazards, because most of these drugs are exposed to moisture, excessive sunlight, and heat. We see that even if the drugs bear the right trademark or name, its conservation is a problem. Again, we actually see that some of these drugs actually are expired, but when you look at them, the expiration date may still be something encouraging, but due to the manner in which they were exposed, especially to these extreme temperature variations and moisture, they are already expired. People should be very careful when you look at the date. You may be tempted to buy, but there is a problem. There is no guarantee that these drugs are actually gotten from the right source. They may just be fake drugs smuggled into the country. One of the problems that these drugs face is actually drug resistant to some pathologies. We see that some of these drugs are obsolete in the sense that the pathologies they had to treat have already developed resistance, and they keep on selling. And when you buy them, you know that you are running a risk, because what you are suffering from will not get any relief at all. Continuous consumption may lead to development of some kind of auto-resistance to your treatment. What about the waste of resources as money is spent on a drug that will not relieve you? Some of these drugs may be nauseous, as they actually may be of doubtful origin. The drugs actually have resulted to organ failure. It has numerous side effects. Most of the time, it may cause dizziness, blurred vision, slurred speech and accidents. There are cases where these drugs have caused lots of fatalities within the community. Another link to the consumption of these drugs is actually on the economy. There is a lot of tax evasion, and you realize that buildings that were supposed to be rented by drug vendors are empty. This creates a serious hardship to the legal drug vendors and the government at large.
Thank you very much, Dr. Tata Peter. You are not leaving us this afternoon because you have a whole lot of things to say. Thank you for giving us some of the dangers, and we know that the dangers are so many, and we are also going to have some of the reasons why people prefer to buy roadside drugs. But before we have that, we shall have the discovery page. Let's have the discovery page. That is one of the slots that we have in this program. One of which is the discovery page. Let's have the discovery.
Family health, our discovery, our discovery.
And for today's discovery page is Crystal Mando. She's the discoverer of this program. Good afternoon to you, Crystal Mando.
Good afternoon, Crispin. Greetings to the guests in the studio and to all the listeners of Family Health. Today in our discovery page, we are going to discover easy ways to store shoes around the home. There are always too many pairs of shoes in homes, but with limited storage. Use open storage for those you wear regularly. It can be a rack of cabinet. This lets down leather or fabric breadth, hence keeping them fresh. Those that you take long to wear should be stored in boxes, wooden or plastic shoe frames to maintain their shape. You can also group them further into those you wear to walk to the party, beach, gym, or sandals and arrange them well. However, before storing them, allow the shoes to rest for at least a day after putting them off to drain off any residual moisture. Also, to keep their shape, fill them with acid-free tissue. Avoid using old newspapers or magazine as the ink can rub off and leave a stain. For delicate shoes, wrap them in a piece of cloth before storing them away in a box or travel bag. You can also use wooden or paper boxes as they protect the shoes from dust, warmth, and moisture. However, keep them neatly organized and stack them on top of each other in wardrobes or cupboards. Plastic boxes, transparent shoe bins are also safe. Clean the shoes and dry them before storing to prevent mildew growth. If the boxes are large enough, stack them in more pairs but put labels to show whether it contains boots, heels, sandals or sneakers. A shoe rack and open shelves are other options for shoe storage. They help to keep shoes and boots organized. This is what we got for you in our discovery page today. Have a nice day and stay blessed.
I told you already, dear listeners. Let me thank Crystal Mando for the discovery page. Thank you so much. We will now know how to keep our shoes, especially the ones that we wear often. And dear listeners, if you're just joining us, you're on to Family Health Ed only on Royal FM 88.4, and we have been waiting for your reactions. Why do you think people buy roadside drugs, roadside medications? Why don't they go to the hospital? What are their reasons? And do you know that there are dangers associated to this practice? Please reach us on our numbers 671-1573-21 or 658-08-9125, 658-08-9125, or still 620-377481. You can reach us this afternoon to give us your reactions, your opinions, whatsoever you think, dear listeners. I'm waiting for you. Why waiting for you? Before we continue with the other excerpts of the medical doctor, we are going to have a musical break, and then, in fact, why waiting for you, of course, when you decide to react, we have a musical break before we come and continue with the excerpts of the medical doctor.
Beautiful. I'm beautiful. Oh, yeah. When money enters accounts, some people them start to frown. Now Jehovah lifts me high. Make you no check I'm twice. So on Neke you love me now. Peter they give me ring. Just say I'm beautiful. Oh, because I'm money. Tout ce que j'avais c'était l'espoir. Tout ce que j'avais c'était les rêves. Tout ce que j'avais c'était mon micro. Tout ce que j'avais c'était ma voix. Oh, oh, eh, 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 oh, eh, oh, eh. Now don't you want baby? That's why they call me Melvie. When money is account, some people them start to frown. Now Jehovah lifts me high. Make you no check I'm twice. So on the day you love me now. Peter they give me ring. John say I'm beautiful. Oh, because I'm money. Tout ce que j'avais c'était l'espoir. Tout ce que j'avais c'était les rêves. Tout ce que j'avais c'était mon micro. Tout ce que j'avais c'était ma voix. Oh, oh, eh, 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 oh, eh, eh. Manena kuku blessing. Somewhere
you're just joining us this afternoon, you're on to Family Health at only on 88.4 Real FM. Dear listeners, if you're listening to us this afternoon, you're doing the right thing. You're at the right place. You're at the right venue. Yes, because it's always interesting on our airwaves this afternoon. We are talking about the dangers of the dangers of purchasing roadside medications, roadside drugs. Is it appropriate? Is it good to purchase roadside drugs? No, because it can lead to several dangers, and we had the medical doctor, Dr. Tata Peter, tell us already a whole lot of things about the dangers of purchasing roadside drugs. Now we are going to get from him the reasons why people prefer to go for roadside drugs, roadside medications. You know, they have brought up a whole lot of reasons. They say maybe it's poverty. They say maybe they do not need a whole large quantity. So when they go to the pharmacies and the hospitals, they don't easily retail that to them. So they prefer to go to the roadside vendors. And there are a whole lot of reasons. Let's listen to the explanation of Dr. Tata Peter explaining some of the reasons why the population prefer to go get roadside drugs. Let's listen to Dr.
I think the first problem here is ignorance, and this ignorance now is linked to the way people perceive drugs, especially how people perceive how drugs work. Anything they see having the color of a drug that they used to buy, they will just buy it. Ignorance is the greatest problem, as I can say, because people do not even perceive drugs to be something dangerous, perceive drugs to be a thing that can cause serious side effects and even kill. The second problem is poverty. You realize that most of the pharmacies do not detail drugs, that is, do not sell them in smaller quantities, making it hard to the poor people to purchase. And this is why they will always run to the roadside, where they will pick smaller quantities and pay maybe lower prices and consume. Another problem we need to know here is the problem of accessibility. Distance. You realize that in some communities, to get to a drugstore or a pharmacy, you need to spend enormously in terms of transportation. And again, the legal procedure where we need to pass through consultation, that's meet a physician before buying the drugs. People actually perceive that as a kind of impediment or hindrance. You realize that in the Northwest and Southwest, where these religious health centers, health facilities abound, once you meet somebody and he gives you a kind of consultation, a prescription, then you buy drugs directly from there. It actually limits people from running into the street to buy, because what we see here in the rest of the 8 regions of Cameroon, you get to the hospital, there is no pharmacy, there is no proof pharmacy. You receive a prescription and you need to rush again to a pharmacy to buy the drugs. This type of movement here and there actually makes people to feel discouraged, and they buy just anything they meet along the road.
You just listened there to Dr. Tata Peter, a medical doctor, explaining some of the reasons why people prefer to purchase roadside drugs. And he said many of them, some of these reasons can be poverty. You know, people lack means to go to the hospital, because if you go to the hospital, you will have to do a consultation, meet a medical doctor, so that he'll be the one to advise you on what to take exactly. Whereas when you don't have money, you just rush to any roadside shop where they sell drugs. You just go there and they will just give you something according to what you said. No consultation, nothing, and it's cheap to them. So that's the reason why they do so. And some people too do so because of the lack of facilities, like maybe health facilities in the area where they are. health facilities, that is hospitals, and also the lack pharmacies where they can easily get the drugs. So the only place where they can refuge is roadside vendors. So we have a whole lot of reasons that push people to go for roadside drugs, and at the end, Dr. Tata Peter gives us some advice. Dr. Tata Peter, he gives us some advice on what exactly to do when you're facing such situation. Anyways, we are not going to have that right now. We are going to have the second slot of this program, which is Grandma's Recipe. Let's have Grandma's Recipe.
Family Health. Grandma's Recipe. Grandma's Recipe.
And for Grandma's Recipe this afternoon is Grandma Germaine, the one and only Grandma Germaine. Good afternoon to you, Grandma Germaine.
Good afternoon, FRINUE Crispin. Good afternoon to your girls. Good afternoon to all beautiful listeners. You guys are warmly welcome to Grandma's Recipe. Today in Grandma's Recipe, we are going to talk about lumps, early stage cancer, breast cancer, tumors. So, home remedy that you are supposed to do at least 2 weeks, then break and do your checkup is guava leaves, soursop leaves, prickles, cloves, ginger, cinnamon. So you are supposed to boil the ingredient and make tea. Drink half cup 2 times a day before 1 week, and then you go for checkup and see if you are also suffering from tumor or cancer. You can also drink this tea for fibroids, infections, and general body cleansing. So that's what we got for you today in Grandma's Recipe. See you next week by the grace of God, of course. Stay blessed.
I know, Germaine, that cancer is a disease, it's a condition that we have been fighting so much in our society, in our communities. It is really disheartening that it has to affect so many people. And thanks to that slot, and thanks to what you've told us this afternoon, we are going to help fight this disease, help fight this thing that we have been battling for in our lives for so many years. And dear listeners, we are still waiting for your reaction before we take the last reaction of the doctor, who is going to give us a general advice on concerning the purchase of roadside drugs. And while waiting for your reactions, let me remind you that our lines are open this afternoon. You can get us on 671-1573 21 or 658089125 or still. And I just got the reaction of one of our listeners. Let's have a caller on line 1 before we go. A caller on line 1. Hello. 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 Okay.
Hello.
Finally we got you. Yes, hello.
My dear doctor.
Le patriarche.
The patriarche maréchal.
Yes, le patriarche maréchal.
To listen this reflection. Pour ne pas mordre ma langue, excuse-moi d'aller en français.
No problem.
Je te souhaite un jeudi joyeux.
Thank you, and same to you.
Je n'oublie pas en face ces crocodiles géants avec leurs gros yeux comme Emma le dit, donc il fait là assez. Pour le monde dans la grande maison royale, les téléauditeurs, de même que ceux qui interviendront, comme mon frère et ami Kamdem depuis Mokolo.
They are getting you.
J'espère qu'ils ne vendent pas les médicaments de la rue. De la réflexion ce jour. Vous mettez le couteau dans la plaie. Mais c'est un problème que nous vivons de manière récurrente. D'un coup, on nous montre les autorités qui descendent dans les marchés, font des fouilles. Et quelques jours après, on revoit les mêmes médicaments de la rue. Je n'encourage pas cette vente illicite, mais elle aide quand même bon nombre des Camerounais qui sont dans une extrême précarité, la pauvreté. Moi, je suis dans la Sanaka maritime profonde. Quand je vais dans mon village, comme j'irai d'ici peu, est-ce qu'il y a une pharmacie de ce côté-là? Il n'y en a pas. Alors, quand quelqu'un a un mal de tête, il voit le docteur de la rue passer avec ses médicaments. Pour être en santé, dans une survie au quotidien, il est obligé de se procurer ce médicament qui pourrait peut-être le sauver ou encore lui donner des conséquences néfastes parce qu'il y a des insuffisances rénales. Mais je dis ceci, c'est le manque de volonté politique de la part de nos décideurs qui fait que nous parlons tous les jours. Parce que le médicament de la rue, c'est comme une hydre de mer, c'est-à-dire cet animal avec plusieurs têtes. Quand on coupe une, il y a l'autre qui apparaît quelque part. Et j'ai parlé de la pauvreté. Les Camerounais sont extrêmement pauvres. Est-ce que chacun peut se rendre à la pharmacie avec une ordonnance qui coûte des sommes à nous donner des céphalées cérébrales? Mais je dis aussi, il faut combattre ces groupes producteurs qui font rentrer les médicaments. C'est là où j'interpelle la douane. Mais je dis, on peut aussi se rendre en pharmacie et mettre des produits génériques sous toutes les formes. Parce que je dis aussi, les pharmaciens aussi s'en plaignent de ces médicaments de la rue. Parce qu'ils ont des charges. Payer l'eau, payer la lumière, payer le personnel, payer le bail. Donc, la plus grande part de responsabilité incombe au pouvoir public. Bon, mais moi, quand ça ne va pas et que je suis fauché, j'implore l'Éternel, quand je suis devant le docteur de la rue, que vraiment qu'il me vienne en aide, que je puisse trouver la santé. Donc, je vous félicite pour cette réflexion que vous posez sur la table. Et bonne émission.
Thank you so much, le patriarche Marichal, for your reaction. And you said exactly what the medical doctor said, that poverty is one of the main reasons why people prefer to purchase roadside drugs, because they do not have money, they do not have means to go to hospitals, they do not have means to go and buy all the expensive hospitals drugs that are sold in the hospitals, and so they are forced to go to the roadside. Let's have a caller again on line one precisely. Hello.
Hey, hello.
Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Crispin.
Yeah, how do I call you?
Petit chauffeur.
Petit chauffeur. I'm happy to have you.
Yeah, same to you, Crispin. Good afternoon to Dr. Tapatika.
Sorry?
Good afternoon to the doctor.
All right, thank you very much.
I'll say good afternoon to Mama. Yes. I believe that roadside medicine is not good.
Yes.
It's not good because it's very dangerous for our health. So many people believe that when I'm sick, I get to the hospital, I'm going to spend a lot.
Yes.
So if I get the roadside doctor, it's going to be less expensive. I will look for my solution. But they don't know it is very dangerous for their health. And sometimes some of those our little children in the quarter, they go and look for them at the roadside and come and kill their patients. It's very dangerous.
Really? Is that what they do?
Yeah, that's what sometimes they do.
Wow.
And sometimes in those our big hospitals, the remaining medicine in the hospital, they take and come and sell to the people by the roadside.
Really? Are you serious? How sure are you?
No, I'm being part of it.
Really? Wow.
Yes, I'm a part. Yes. I saw that people have been doing that. Some from the big hospital, like nurses and all the lights, they have been doing that.
Oh.
Yeah. So government has to fight against that because it's not good for the society. Yes, government has to fight against and act and punish.
But they say it is poverty that is causing people to do that now. So if government has to fight,
it's poverty. But sometimes people believe that when they are poor, when they get to the hospital, they are going to spend a lot. So when you are sick, you better get to the hospital. Then they see what they can do for you. Then maybe they can solve their problem, or maybe they can pay later to go and buy medicine by the roadside to harm yourself. So that's my contribution. It's not medicine by the roadside is not good for the population.
Oh, thank you so much, Petit Chauffeur, for your reaction this afternoon. and he's gone, and we are waiting for more colors. We are waiting for your reaction. Why do you think people going for roadside drugs? Why do they prefer that? Why don't they go to the hospital? You know, people have given anxieties because of poverty, so they find it hard to go to the hospital. But Petit Chauffeur says that's not an excuse, so you should not bring that up, that no, it is because I am poor, it is because I am this, that I can't go to the hospital, and I'm afraid of the different bills, the heavy bills that are going to land before me in the hospital, so I prefer to rush to the roadside vendor. So they say excuses cannot count, but I know you guys have more reasons. Please get us your reactions. Tell us, why do people prefer to go get roadside drugs instead of heading to the hospital for proper checkup and also in order to have good drugs? We are going to have the next caller on line 1. Hello. Hello. Oh, the caller has just disappeared. Anyways, our lines are available. You can get us in 671-1573-21 or 658-089125 or still 620-377481. You can get us this afternoon on these different lines in case you have a contribution to make. I told you already, we have a medical expert that has been explaining a whole lot of things. He explains the dangers of purchasing roadside drugs and also gave some of the reasons why people prefer to go for roadside drugs. And also we've been having the reaction of some part of some listeners telling us their different reasons why they think people go in for roadside drugs. So we are still waiting for more reaction. And while waiting, let's have a musical break. We shall have a short musical break and we'll come back to take the last advice from the medical doctor.
To all of my people, say a prayer for my country. Yeah, yeah. To all of my people, say a prayer for my country. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Baba God, Baba God, where you there? Where you there? Baba God, Baba God, where you there? Where you there? Listen to tongues inside, amen. Awa bundriaji, amen. Ishiki loran lenbena, amen. Yeah, yeah, amen. Listen to tongues inside, amen. Awa bundriaji, amen. Ishiki loran lenbena, amen. Yeah, yeah, amen. Somebody call up them brother no pick up the phone. But Facebook say the boy don't die. I buy another one, call up the friend. Brother mama don't die. If not you, waiting you go do. We are one big family. Your brother cannot be the enemy. Why all this calamity? Me I no fit believe why you do the things you do. We just need to love one another. No need to mash up the people. Everything cool and nice. A better day for the people. I've been to me for a wacky, yeah, jai jai, jai jai. I do my for a wacky, yeah, jai jai, jai jai. To all of my people, say a prayer for my country. Yeah, yeah. To all of my people, say a prayer for my country. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Baba God, Baba God, where you there? Where you there? Baba God, Baba God, where you there? Where you there? Listen to tongues inside, amen. Awa bundriaji, amen. Kishiki loran lenbena, amen. Yeah, yeah, amen. Listen to tongues inside, amen. Awa bundriaji, amen. Kishiki loran lenbena, amen. Yeah. Amen. Lord, pour holy water, make we clean up the place. Lord, answer me prayer, make we clean up the place. Lord, pour some love, make we clean up the place again. Lord, have mercy. Mercy. For something comes inside. Amen. Our bundriaji. Amen. Ishiki Lord and Lembena. Amen. Yeah. For something comes inside. Amen. Our bundriaji. Amen. Ishiki Lord and Lembena. Amen. Yeah. For something comes inside. Amen. Our bundriaji. Amen. Ishiki Lord and Lembena. Amen. Yeah.
Oh, all the beautiful musics on the program. You know, family health is not just there to talk about health conditions. Also, it is also there to relieve you from the nerves that are disturbing you in the afternoon. You know, the afternoon is very hot. So at the same time, you listen to family health. At the same time, you follow beautiful music that is going to relieve you from all the tension and all the nerves that are disturbing you this afternoon. Then, if you're just joining us, this is Family Health, and we have been talking about the dangers of purchasing roadside drugs. Let's have a caller on line 1. Hello.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
It's the part of Agri-Smith.
Oh, Agri-Smith. You're welcome.
Thank you. I just want to thank you for the great job that you are doing at today.
Thank you.
And say hello to the technicians on GC and everybody, all the crew.
They are listening.
So my participation on the program today is that, for myself, what I can say is that I've been buying my medicines by the side of the road. The first bit is that it's accessible, because when you go to the hospital,
yes,
a lot of protocol.
Yes.
The doctor will send you to the lab, need to go and make tests, and all the like. While at the roadside, if you have malaria, you just go, you collect your malaria drop.
How do you know that you have malaria? You've not gone for tests. How do you know? You're just imagining.
At least something like malaria symptoms are not easy for most Africans, because it's an African. So when I have it, I don't even need to go to the hospital. So when I tried out one test, that's why I can think of going to the hospital. First, straight to the vendor and get my malaria drop there. When I see that the situation is what I need to handle, that's when
you go to the hospital.
Doctor, what is on my back. But the first thing I do is go to the vendor and get my test.
But why don't you go to the pharmacy instead of going to the roadside vendor?
The pharmacy, medicine from the pharmacy, medicine from the pharmacy are expensive. So I try the first one. When I go to the vendor first, it doesn't work, I go to the pharmacy.
But that's double expenditure, don't you think?
So most of the time, that's work there. As I'm talking to you like yesterday, I had serious fever, and I went to the vendor. But if it doesn't work I feel myself again somehow, I will go back now to the hospital.
You go to the hospital, the money you spend going to the vendor, you would have just kept it and just go straight to the hospital, because you've wasted your money to buy drugs from the vendor. Now it's not working, you're going again to the hospital. That's double expenditure, don't you think?
I agree with you, but you know, if I wanted to go to the hospital yesterday, maybe by now that I will be coming out of the hospital, while I'm still feeling sick like that, somebody who is sick. But it's supposed to, by now that the doctor will finish with me from the lab, but now I've already taken medicine and I'm still fine now.
Okay.
So that's my reason of going to the any other.
That's the most important anyway. Thank you very much, Agri-Smith, for your reaction.
Okay,
thank you for your reactions. Anyways, we've been talking this afternoon about the dangers of purchasing roadside drugs, and now we are going to take a reaction from the doctor, the medical doctor. Am I seeing a call now, right now? No, the call has ended. Anyways, let's take the reaction of the medical doctor. He's giving us a little advice on what to do. In fact, a little advice to those that practice this, going to the roads to buy drugs. Let's have the medical doctor, the last advice he has for the population.
I think the first thing we have to let people know is that drugs that are bought along the road are of doubtful quality, and the consequences I have enumerated above may lead to certain organ failures, and may lead to certain side effects and deaths. Again, we should actually hammer on how toxic some of these drugs are, since they are of doubtful origin. They are nauseous really to our bodies. And we should hammer on the number of deaths that actually occur from the consumption of these drugs. There might not be illicit drugs, but as I said above, the conservation is not good. So people should know that it is better to go and buy drugs from an environment that is conducive, an environment where excessive heat is controlled, where sunlight is controlled, and where moisture is controlled, and therefore the drugs are of good quality. When we educate people like this, I know that it will take time, because to change behavior is not something just of kind of magic. It takes time, but in the long run, people actually would adhere and actually save people's lives that is actually caused by carelessness linked to the consumption of these drugs.
You just listened there to the medical doctor, Tata Peter. Dr. Tata Peter, thank you very much for your reaction. Thank you for being with us on today's edition of Family Health. Thank you for sharing your expertise with us. And I want to thank all our beautiful listeners for reacting, all your contributions. It has been amazing. I want to thank Salomon Isana for being our sound engineer, Jean-Marie Otu, our video editor, coordination Jean-Passion Tala, and for general supervision, Reverend Pastor Bisa Emmanuel Noel. Thanking myself, FRINUE Crispin, for the presentation. Hoping to see you next week, Thursday, same time, for another edition. But do not forget, tomorrow you will have Fraîcheur Royale with Raisa Parker. You know, she's going to be talking health, and it's also going to be interesting. Meantime, stay tuned to our programs, and up next, or not up next, very soon, our 2 p.m. newscast is coming up with Jarmenta. Have a blessed Thursday. Love you.
Will you ever get by? Will you listen to things I say?